Guys, it's Magic again. I'm just here to talk. Uh, this video is kind of about finding yourself and my path of self-discovery. And still haven't completely figured out who I am yet, but it's a process, and I'm sure eventually I will get there. A lot of the time, there was a point where I thought I knew who I was, where I just did not really care what other people thought. I was okay being me. If you had a problem with it, that was your problem, not mine. And I was happy that way. And then some things happened, and I developed insecurities, and then I started losing sight of who I was as a person and who I wanted to be. And I felt lost for a very long time. But I think a lot of what's kept me feeling lost is that I'm constantly fighting against being lost. I'm trying to make myself discover who I am and discover myself. And I keep trying to tell myself, I know who I am. This is who I am. This is how I have to be. This is who I need to be. But I don't really take the time to actually determine if that's true, because feeling lost is scary. But I've learned that whenever I actually sit down and embrace that feeling of being lost and try to meditate on it, I tend to start to actually analyze myself and figure out who I am at my core. However, the more I start to figure out who I am and start to move into my own authenticity and uniqueness and more towards my goals and my purpose, I find that I'm pushing more and more people away, or rather they're abandoning me because maybe they're just not there yet, or maybe they disapprove of what I'm doing, or knowing who I really am is unsettling for them. It's like, I dated someone once who, when I was in another relationship, it was a bad relationship, they loved me when I was in that relationship, but then when they found out that when I wasn't under that kind of pressure to constantly be this way, because if I'm not, then this will happen, they decided that they didn't love me as much because I wasn't the same. They thought I would always be that way, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not that person when I'm not in those situations. I mean, fear will change you if it's like, fear is a powerful motivator. And that kind of fear definitely makes you do things that aren't really true to yourself. So it's only natural that it would also affect my friends in the same way. Finding out who I truly am makes them question if they really want to be around me. And that's okay. That's their decision. Because we all have to take this self-discovery journey and this self-growth journey on our own. Some people, the people that are meant to be will stay, and the people that aren't will go. I've never really been one for routine. So it's really hard for me to get into constant habits, because when I could do the same thing every day, non-stop, and it's like this is just my schedule, I feel like I'm stuck in a rut, and I just feel trapped. So I kind of like this, having random things happen. I like being able to say, well, we're going to go out and do this thing, because it just makes the day feel, or like switching up what time we do things, because it makes the day feel more chaotic. That's one of the main problems I have currently with my current job, is that I'm constantly doing the same schedule, and it messes with my head, because I feel like I get stuck and then I get to feel down. But routines can also be stabilizing, but I just don't know. Maybe it's just not for me. I feel like no matter what I do, I know I can't make everybody happy, and largely I know I'll never really make my family happy, because I'll never be the person that they wanted me to be or who they think I should be. But that's okay. I'm still me, And if they can't accept that I won't ever reach that bar that they set, then that's something that they're just gonna have to let go of. Because it's crazy to set a bar for someone else for your love. Love should be unconditional, and if you truly care about someone, you'll love them no matter what. You won't set expectations for them to be a certain way or to have to achieve this level of perfection to be in your life. I mean, you want good expectations like honesty, trust, loyalty, things like that, but overall, you can't be like, well, you have to be this particular way or I can't love you. Because honestly, I'm at a point where I don't really care how you want me to be. Part of me does, yeah, I still value the opinions of others, and sometimes I do act on that, but largely, constantly worrying about your opinion of me and how I feel like you want me to be has just made me feel overwhelmed and stressed, and I don't think that's worth that anymore. I don't want to attribute any more of my energy to making other people happy while denying myself that happiness. Because I deserve to be happy too, and I don't want to live my life in negativity. And I think for a long time the reason why I felt so lost was because I didn't appreciate the fact that I've come so far. I've survived a lot of things. I have made it this far in my life, and I just don't feel like I appreciate that sometimes because a lot of the time I don't feel like I made it far enough, or I feel like, well, these bad things happened, so I'm never gonna get better, or like, well, I was dumb for letting this happen, but I survived, and I've gotten better, and I've improved, and that's what's really important. I mean, I survived this long, and I keep fighting, and I'm going to keep fighting. Uh, it's not that the situations in my life have so much changed. Some of them have, and some of them have changed for the better. Others are pretty static, but it's not the. I don't need the situations to change. What I need is for my attitude towards them to change. Because the attitude that you take towards life will determine how the situation turns out. Because any situation go good or bad, but if you have a negative outlook, no matter how it turns out, it's going to be bad. So I'm trying to find the bright sides to everything, even the bad stuff, because that's what's going to get me through the tough times. Sometimes we just have to focus on the good things in our lives to get to, or what we're grateful for, so that way even when we have our bad days, it's not the end of the world. So, like I said, though, I've lost a lot of friends on this journey, and that's okay. Because honestly, the only people I want to be hanging out with and spending my time with are people that I can be myself around. And talk about the things that I want to talk about and be the type of person I want to be. And express my individuality and uniqueness without fear of being outcasted or judged or hurt because they don't approve. A lot of the time I'm too scared to act on what I want to do, or I'm too scared to do the things that I want to do because I'm worried that people will think badly of me, or they'll think I'm stupid if I fail, or that I'll suck, or that. But you know what? Sometimes you have to do things scared. That's when I started this channel, or rather, I started this channel forever ago. I just never actually posted. When I first started posting, I was scared because I was like, well, what if this? What if that? But I did it anyway. I did it scared. That's the best way to do something, because if you don't do it scared, you're never going to do it. because fear will always rule you. So I took a step outside of my comfort zone, took a step into the fear. Because honestly, you do it once, it wasn't that bad. You survived, so you can do it again and keep improving. Sometimes you just gotta take that leap of faith and move forward. Alright guys, I think I'll end this video here. Remember, sometimes you gotta do it scared, but don't let fear stop you, okay? Go out and spread the love.